What is going on, everybody? Weedles Needle here, and we are backing in with an Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon Wi-Fi battle, and this one's going to be against Dan, a person I battle off my Discord server. Now, before we get into this Wi-Fi battle, if you guys are enjoying my Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon Wi-Fi battle content and want to support my channel, it would mean a lot if you hit the like button, as it's much appreciated, and it keeps me inspired to put out these daily uploads for you guys. Now, I'm packing, the very threatening overused team because I'm trying to be a Shofu wannabe, so I am playing in the overused tier. I have a very try-hard team with the one overused Pokemon. My opponent's team looked very disgusting. At the very least, he does not have Toxapex Celesteela Core, so that's something, but he still has Celesteela, and since my only way to hit it on my team is Chandelure, it's going to be pretty difficult to deal with. So my opponent is going to secure the fact that dealing with Celesteela is very difficult because he leads off with Lando T on the first turn. I know, like 110%. There's no way he is not going for Stealth Rocks unless he's flying Z move, so it's like 99% sure he's going to go for Rocks. If not, he's going to go for Supersonic Sky Strike. So he's going to go for Rocks. What a surprise. I don't even have Rapid Spin on this team, as you'll see. My Fortress doesn't even carry Rapid Spin. I'm going to go for Reflect because I actually trained up this Tapu Bulu for the exact same reason why I trained up Tapu Koko, and it's just to be a supporting Pokemon because using Tapus offensively is literally the easiest thing ever. So I decided to make Tapu Bulu a supportive Pokemon because it fits a more supportive role anyway. So I'm going to set up my dual screens because Tapu Bulu can also learn dual screens, and Grassy Terrain gives your allies, free recovery, so it's not all that bad.
No faggot. It's not listed on Smogon movesets, so it's garbage.
Now I'm going to pull a switch into my Jirachi here, expecting Heavy Slam or Flamethrower. Thankfully, one of my subscribers passed me this Jirachi because I did not have any battle-rated Jirachis besides a Calm Mind Dune Desire one, and I wanted to use a pretty cool Jirachi moveset. So we're going to get some Grassy Terrain recovery and get some leftovers. So we're going to get all of our health back from that attack from Celesteela. And now I'm actually going to go for the Secret Power, and Secret Power does have a 30% chance to para, but in Grassy Terrain it has a 30% chance to be put to sleep or put the opponent to sleep, and then with Serene Grace you double that, so you have a 60% chance to put a Pokemon to sleep. So that's pretty much like hitting Hypnosis, so it's pretty fun to mess around with, especially since secondary effects usually happen a lot more frequently than moves connecting, so I don't know. Now I'm gonna lay up my rocks here because it's been a few turns, it's an overused battle, and I've been sweating like, man, I don't have my Stealth Rocks up, so how am I supposed to win? So I got out my rocks. Super Skarm wakes up on the first turn. I don't know if that's named after Super Skarmory, that like old ass Let's Player that recorded everything with the camera, or if that's just showing that it is like a super version of Skarmory. Either way, I don't think Celesteela is a super version of Skarmory because Skarmory learns hazards, and hazards are too broken to just put Celesteela above Skarmory without realizing that entry hazards are broken. That's just my opinion. Now I'm going to go for Secret Power because the Grassy Terrain does wear off, and I can just paralyze this thing instead of putting it to sleep, and that'll just make it easier to deal with in general. If I put this thing to sleep, it's not really going to help me deal with it. I mean, we do get a full para on the Secret Power, which kind of sucks for my opponent, but it's not like he can really touch me. Like that Flamethrower, as you saw, did like 3, and the Heavy Slam did less, so my opponent really can't touch me. We're kind of like stalemating each other at this point because we cannot touch each other. So now I'm going to switch out, expecting a Flamethrower, Heavy Slam, Leech Seed, literally anything. Going to bring him Blow Me Away. My Chandelure. Take some Stealth Rock damage. Step aside Blacephalon. I'm using Chandelure and overused. Now my opponent randomly double switches into Tyranitar. I guess this is because he wants to punish Jirachi, but I don't know if he predicted this or if it was just a lucky double switch. Either way, he can Pursuit Trap me. I don't know what kind of set he's running. Maybe he's like Assault Vested, maybe he's Choice Scarf, maybe he's Choice Band. Either way, he does actually go for Pursuit. I didn't even switch out because I figured he wanted to go for Pursuit, and I'm actually a Weakness Policy Chandelure because with Grassy Terrain you can reduce Earthquake damage, and then with dual screens you can take pretty much any attack the opponent wants to go for, granted it's not super powerful. An Energy Ball with Weakness Policy is able to knock out Tyranitar, so it tells me he's likely Choice Banded or Choiced in some way because I feel like Energy Ball should have not knocked out a defensive Tyranitar since Grassy Terrain was not set up anyway. Now my opponent's going to bring in Brony Power, the Keldeo. And Keldeo is a pretty big threat to my team, if I didn't have Tapu Bulu, of course. So I'm going to pull a Hard Switch into Tapu Bulu. If my opponent double switches, it's not really a big deal since, I reapply my Grassy Terrain, and it's like the worst he can do is bring in the Celesteela, and then it's just like, wow, I get to sit there and for 10 turns again. Woohoo! Now my opponent's going to go for Scald, as I'm hoping we don't get burned, as thankfully my Tapu Bulu is able to avoid the burn. I do have Nature's Madness on this thing, so I could go for Nature's Madness, anticipating my opponent to bring in the Celesteela. That's pretty much my best way of weakening it because I do have a pretty cool Fortress set. It's actually a Z power trick, kind of like the Shuckle set I use, but unfortunately, since my opponent has both Lando T and Celesteela, it's going to be very, very hard to use that set. So I don't think it's going to do much in this game, unfortunately. I'm going to go for Reflect here because I want to set up my screens yet again, and no reason not to. He doesn't have a defogger from what I've seen unless it's Lando T, and if he defogs away his own Stealth Rocks, that would be perfectly fine for me because I do have Swoobat and Chandler who do not want to deal with Stealth Rocks because they are weak to them. So I'm just going to set up Light Screen here because I know I can soak up a Heavy Slam or a Flamethrower since I know the Celesteela has no offensive investment because usually Celesteelas, invest in mixed defenses and HP, which makes the most sense to me. So we should be in the clear. I'm able to set up my dual screens as unfortunately he does get paralyzed. I don't really think it matters all that much. Like I don't really need Tapu Bulu healthy. I'm just trying to use it to set up screens. Now I'm gonna pull a switch into my swoops, my swoobat, because I quickly realized that I have to deal with the Celesteela or I'm just gonna lose this game. So I decided to play very aggressively, bring in my swoobat here, get the grassy seed as my opponent's gonna get fully paralyzed again. Unfortunately, but that's just Jirachi's hack carrying over. I'm using secret power Jirachi, so let me get my hacks, please. Let me get this money. Now I'm gonna go for the Calm Mind here because I know Celesteela's Heavy Slam won't be doing that much with Reflect and the Grassy Seed activated, which since it gives me double defense, it won't do that much damage. He's going to intimidate me, as now I'm going to proceed to go for Calm Mind. And I was pretty sure I could live anything that wasn't like Continental Crush from Lando T, but I didn't want to risk him critting a Stone Edge, so he's probably Hidden Power Ace Lando T because for some reason everybody runs that set. But I do outspeed Lando T, not too surprising. I'm going to be able to go for Stored Power, and he actually knocked out Lando T, which wasn't what I was expecting, but he must be offensive Lando T, so I guess either way it would have worked out because if he was defensive he probably couldn't have killed me, and offensive just ties some Stored Power, so that's fine. Now he's going to bring in his Eat Your Face, the Mega Mawile, get the Intimidate. Man, if I brought in my Empoleon here with Defiant, I could have gotten +1, and then Lando T could have given me +1. It would have been beautiful actually, but instead we are using Swoobat because I really didn't get to use Swoobat and give it a spotlight, so I'm glad it's actually able to do something in this game. He's going to go for Sucker Punch. It does nothing to Swoobat. That actually makes Mega Mawile look like a weakling, but that's just because I'm at +2 defense with Reflect. If one of those wasn't there, I probably would have died 100%, but thankfully we're able to knock out Mega Mawile. Now he's going to bring in his Kartana, and I'm like, okay, Kartana's about to sweep me here, because Kartana, in my opinion, is the most broken Ultra Beast now that Naganadel and Pheromosa are banned. He's going to go for Smart Strike here, and not knock me out because Smart Strike is a weak ass attack. If he had knockoff, maybe he could have knocked me out, but I guess he doesn't have knockoff, so eh. Now Stored Power is going to be able to knock out Kartana, so Swoobat is putting in a lot of work in this game. Now my opponent's going to bring in Brony Power, and I'm like, I should be able to outspeed this thing, no problem. I should have been able to outspeed Kartana too, but he's actually running the coveted dual Scarf Core with Kartana and Keldeo, so he's able to knock out my Swoops. So unfortunately, Swoops cannot clean up this game, which is kind of unfortunate, but hey, it got 3 kills and it allowed me to just kind of break my opponent's team, so that's not too bad. Unfortunately, the Celesteela is still alive, and I really can't deal with Celesteela because it's just super freaking bulky, and my Chandelier is going to die from Stealth Rock, so this is still going to be a pretty long battle because I have to deal with this Celesteela one way or the other. He's going to bring it in now, as I probably should have went for the Nature's Madness here, but I decided to pull a double switch into my Jirachi, expecting my opponent to bring in the Celesteela yet again, because I do have a certain move that will help me deal with the Celesteela. I already paralyzed it, so I do have that going for me, and I'm not going to try to Iron Head flinch it because it's not going to do any damage anyway. So instead, I'm going to go for Healing Wish because I'm like, wanna know what? There's no other move I can give this Jirachi than Healing Wish's power. So we're going to use Healing Wish, and he's going to try to go for Leech Seed to set my health, but it doesn't really work out for my opponent, as now I'm able to use Healing Wish's powers and break back in, blow me away, so it does not die from Stealth Rocks. We can actually damage this freaking Celesteela, so that's wonderful for me. We're going to get all of our health back, yum! And now my opponent is in a pretty bad position because I do have Energy Ball and Grassy Terrain for Keldeo, though I didn't really think he'd bring it in directly, and I mean, I guess it's his best chance to winning, so it does make a lot of sense. I am actually a Trick Room Chandelier. Now normally I'd run like Choice Scarf or something, but the reason why I'm Trick Room is because, like I said, I am a Z Power Trick, Z Power Trick Fortress. So with Flash Fire support and Trick Room, it's nice, and it was just a nice little combination I was testing out. But unfortunately, my opponent has both Celesteela and Lando T, and Mega Mawile with Intimidate, so it wasn't looking like the greatest game for Power Trick Fortress, that's for sure. But yeah, Shadow Ball's not going to do too much damage. I went for Shadow Ball just in case my opponent wanted to switch into Celesteela, because my opponent is just playing so conservatively. He should just accept the loss. But no, he's trying to stall me out of like Fire Blast BP maybe? Or PP? Not BP. I'm thinking of, I've been doing too much Battle Tree. We're gonna go for Fire Blast into Protect, and I'm like, okay, whatever, like he can try and stall out my Trick Room all he wants, but it's not gonna help him at all. Like, I don't think there's any way he can win this unless he beastalls me on a Fire Blast and just solos my team with Celesteela, but he is paralyzed, so it's not in his favor to do that, and not to mention I do have Nature's Madness, so gonna go for Fire Blast here as my opponent gets the coveted double protect. Nice strategy. I can respect that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my opponent just needs to let me end this game. Come on, just let me kill off the Celesteela, but no, he's going to switch out because this is the last turn of Trick Room. He's gonna bring in his Brony power, and I'm like, okay, now I gotta switch out and deal with this Keldeo, except I went for Energy Ball in case he wanted to play that conservatively, and we're going to blast away the Keldeo, and now there's nothing my opponent could do against this Chandelure, so he has to let the game be over because I don't want this game to extend out for like 30 turns because I'm facing a Celesteela. I want it to end now, so I'm going for that, unnecessarily aggressive play, and someone just texted me. I went for the very aggressive play just because I didn't want the game to go on for that long. We do miss Fire Blast though, so it's going to prolong a little bit longer, but as long as we connect a Fire Blast against this Celesteela, it should be GG because we are Quiet Nature with the max hit points. And it may seem kind of weird to run Trick Room Chandelure. It's not really a set I want to run, but I figured it would work pretty good with a Power Trick Fortress because, it's able to switch into fire attacks thanks to Flash Fire, and then you're able to Trick Room on things that are just knit faster than you in the overused tier because the overused speed creep is absolutely nuts. Like if you're not 110 base speed, you're getting outsped unless you're Scarf. Like there's nothing else to say. But Trick Room allows you to get around the OU speed curve, so I think it's okay. We're able to finally knock out the Celesteela and defeat Dan, aka A-Drive. JK, I didn't actually battle him, but maybe one day I'll battle him. But I hope you guys enjoyed this Wi-Fi battle against Dan. We were finally able to defeat that Celesteela. If I didn't have Healing Wishes powers in that game, I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have had to pray and use Nature's Madness and then try to use Power Trip and Polion to break through the Celesteela, which I guess I could have done actually because with the Grassy Terrain healing and screens, I don't think the I don't think Celesteela could have really hurt Empoleon. And then if he activated Weakness Policy on Empoleon at any point, I think the game was over because if he had double Intimidate, which would have given me Defiant, but unfortunately I couldn't quite use Power Trip Empoleon or my Fortress set in this battle because swoobat and Chandelure kind of stole the spotlight in this battle. But I hope you guys enjoyed this Wi-Fi battle against Dan. If you guys enjoyed the Wi-Fi battle and want to support my channel, let me know by leaving a like on the video, as it's the greatest way to show your support towards my YouTube channel, and it's just much appreciated like always. And yeah, the question of the day is going to be, which Pokemon in the overused tier do you despise facing the most? Let me know in the comments down below if you just absolutely despise facing a certain Pokemon, and whenever you see it in Team Preview, it just demoralizes you completely. Now, if there's a Pokemon that fits this category, it is Celesteela with like Toxapex and stuff. If it's Celesteela by itself, it's not that bad, but when I see like Celesteela, Clefable, Toxapex, Lando T, I like projectile vomit in my mouth and then I just DC on them. No, I wouldn't actually DC on them, though I probably would like forfeit halfway through the battle due to pure frustration if I can't actually break the core. But normally I bring a lot of cheese, so when people bring like these wall cores against me, I normally just cheese through them. So you'd think people would learn their lesson, but I guess not. I guess it is the overused meta. If you don't bring some bulky offensive team or hyper offense, you're gonna get blown away. So I can understand why people pack these bulky teams and they broke an overused tier. So I'm not gonna really give my opponent flack for that, but I just hate facing these bulky cores, which is why I always bring this cheese shit so I can deal with it. Like Swoobat allowed me to beat, I think it would have beaten Celesteela 1v1 and would have beaten pretty much anything besides T-Tar 1v1, and I don't know, that's why I bring this kind of shit in battles. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below which Pokemon you despise facing the most in the game in general. It could be like any Pokemon, I guess. It doesn't have to be in the overused tier. But of course, thank you guys so much for watching till the end of the video. I'll check you guys next time. Bye.